Get started here. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's wonderful to see so many of you here today for another inspiring program with professional organizer Stephanie Radman. Stephanie joined us a few months ago for a thoughtful and engaging discussion on exploring the art of Swedish death cleaning, where she shared practical insights on simplifying our lives and letting go with intention. Today, she returns to talk about a topic many of us dream about, but aren't always sure how to achieve: the art of organization. From perfectly arranged closets to beautifully styled pantries, Stephanie will show us how to create spaces that are not only functional and efficient, but also worthy of those eye-catching Instagram photos we all admire. Whether you're looking to tackle clutter, maximize your storage, or simply bring a little more calm and order into your home, today's program will offer practical tips, creative ideas, and plenty of motivation to get started. Please join me in giving a warm welcome back to Stephanie Radman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Radman. Thank you so much, Amy, for the warm introduction. Delighted to be back here in your beautiful town. Did a beautiful walk this morning by the in Hyannisport, by the Kennedy compound. It was a lovely morning, seeing everyone out and about. And I'm happy to be with you all today at your gorgeous library to talk about home organizing. A little bit about myself. I founded the business about 5 years ago. I'm a mom to 3 young adults, 25, 23, and 21, 2 boys and a daughter, born and raised in Connecticut, but we spent our summers not too far away in Dennis, Massachusetts. My wonderful uncle had a lovely antique home in Dennis, and he always invited my family, I have one sister, to come up for 2 weeks to stay at his guest house in the summer. So we are familiar with the Cape, we love the Cape, and like I said, happy to be back. I'm a lifelong volunteer, love to give back to the community. And of course, since we're at a library, I had to put in there reading as a hobby. No, I do love to read, actually, about many hobbies. We were recently very proud. We won the best home organizing company in our neck of the woods in Connecticut. Very proud of that. Nominated again this year. So that's a little bit about who I am. And a little bit about my history. How did I get to be a home organizer? Well, I come from a long line of organized people, organized family members. My mom was a first grade teacher in our town, and I actually have 20 letters from her students from 55 years ago when I was born. Dear Mystic, I am glad you had a baby girl. That was me. Our field trip was nice. We saw animals. Mr. Rell, I think the substitute teacher, is very nice. Sometimes we are bad. My mother has a file with all of her teacher paperwork from 55 years ago. So I come from a long line of organized family members. That's how I got here. A little bit more about my history. This was a spreadsheet from years ago on the back of my closet door. And I tried not to repeat the same outfit until 3 weeks had gone by. But it is not to say that I had a lot of clothes. I didn't. But I just tried to make a little spreadsheet here on paper from 1988 of when I was at Stanford High School. I jeans with a black turtleneck sweater. Try not to repeat it too often. So I've always been a very organized person, for certain. So to talk about today, a quick overview. Of course, we're going to talk about some fast facts about organizing. We'll discuss some examples of our common pain points for all of us. We're going to definitely talk about some solutions, 5 steps, and we'll show you some tips and tricks that you can implement in your own homes. And then I always think a visual is very helpful. So we'll show some befores and afters. And then in the end, we'll wrap it up with, you might imagine, we've seen it all. We've seen a lot of different houses, a lot of different stories, a lot of adventures. We'll talk about some of those, and definitely we will have time for Q&A afterwards. But truthfully, it's a very easygoing lecture. Please feel free to raise your hand at any time if you have any questions or comments at all. Happy to answer them. And I just want to say this is a no judgment zone. My house certainly is not perfect. There's messy areas, of course. So please feel free, don't be embarrassed, ask a question. There's no such thing as a bad question. So to touch upon some fast facts, about 20% of the things that we own are actually used. Remarkable, right? Almost 4,000 hours are spent in our lifetime. Honey, where are the keys? That's a lot of hours, right? You might see, we're from Connecticut, but in all of our neck of the woods, those off-site storage facilities, they're building them everywhere, in the Cape, everywhere near Boston. Because everyone has off-site storage, we have too many things and can't fit them in our own homes. A quarter of us have 2-car garages, but only a third of us have room to put 1 car in there. And this is interesting, the average American throws away 65 pounds of clothing a year. Now, we've all seen those recycle bins, where you can put clothing in. We all try to be green whenever we can, of course. A quarter of us actually admit to paying bills late simply because we lost them. And 1 in 7 Americans actually have a room in their home that they can't use because it's too much stuff in it. They can't get through it. So over time, almost all of us, at one point or another, find ourselves grappling with too many things. And it's about wellness also. It creates sometimes anxiety and a little bit of stress because we have all this mess around us. So it's a problem for all of us, really, for many of us. So here's some examples of our common pain points. This is a closet. This is what work we do for an artist in nearby New York. And she often travels, and when she comes back home, she just throws everything on the ground, and our team comes in and we put it all away. Like every 2 months. It's unbelievable. So some people live like this. Junk drawer, and what I love about this junk drawer, we see in the middle of the mousetrap. So you go, so here has a junk drawer. We all have a junk drawer in our house, right? But I love, you go in to get a battery, oopsie, surprise, it's a mousetrap. That's the best place for it, for sure. We have the chick clips in there, our twine or string, we all have. Ooh, we all, of course, have the kitchen utensils drawer, and then we all have that potato masher that we use, once a year for Thanksgiving. And it's always too high, it jams up the drawer, we all have that one also. Keepsakes, who here has keepsakes? We all have keepsakes, and keepsakes are a big issue. Because whether it's our children's artwork, our grandchildren's artwork, cards like this, with a lovely couple we worked for. Come on. A lovely couple we worked for in Connecticut, and you can see on the left side was an Easter card from 1971. And on the right, I love this. Dear Mark, you are the king of hearts in my life now and forever. So sweet. God bless. Couple was married for 55 years. They both passed away, and they had about 5 boxes of all these beautiful cards, spanning from 1971 to 2014, for decades. And they had 3 adult children up in Rochester, New York. The adult children came down to Connecticut to go through the family things. And how many cards can they take back home with them? And so each child took, a few cards, but it's a problem that many of us have. We feel bad throwing these out, but we can't keep them all, of course, we can't. Repairs, this is a good one, and just to be honest, this is my husband's workshop. My husband, a wonderful man, he's an architect, but he's also a carpenter, very handy. We had a dinner party a couple of years ago, and our friend Tom sat on our beautiful antique pine stool. We quickly found out it was more for aesthetics than for function when Tom fell down to the ground. 6'5" Tom, boop, down to the ground. So this has been sitting in my husband's workshop for about 5 years. So maybe it's time for us to get rid of it. It hasn't been fixed yet. So how many of us have repairs? A frame that's broken, the glass needs repaired, and we're sitting in our basement or in our garage. We keep meaning to bring it in to be fixed, and we never do. So it's a problem for many of us. Hobbies. We once had a client actually in California who had a beautiful large home, and every year or so, the client would take on a new hobby, whether it's sewing or needlepointing. And last year she took up knitting as one of her hobbies, and she had an entire bedroom custom cabinetry made to store all the needles, all the accoutrements, all the yarn. And sure enough, 12 months later, she never knitted a single thing. So we came in, the team, we flew to California to organize some of her home, and we gathered up all of the yarn, and we actually were able to donate it to a local women's shelter. So they made some nice blankets for newborn babies at a hospital. So in the end, it went to a good cause. But like many of us, we start hobbies and then it just fades out, and that all the supplies are sitting somewhere in the basement or somewhere in the attic of our house, so it's a common problem. This was a basement and we were a little bit scared, I have to say, down in Connecticut. The people love to entertain, you can see they have lots of platters, several sets of china, beautiful home. And I have to say, when we went downstairs to the basement, I almost put it in reverse. I don't know if we could tackle this problem, but we'll show you later on the end, we were able to solve it. It became a beautiful new space for them. But like many of us, we have a lot of things in our basement. And what are we doing? It's just sitting there, no one uses it. Common problem. This was a garage we worked on, and you can see, as those fun facts said, a lovely garage, a car cannot even fit in here. So you can see there's a refrigerator box, a bookshelf with all books. And certainly in the summertime, we don't mind when the cars are outside, but in the winter, we certainly want our car in the garage when we can. So garages are another big problem that many people have. And this is me. I was working in an attic in Rumson, New Jersey for a beautiful client. Same thing, parents were passed away a couple years ago. So the adult children are working, they just didn't have the time, so we came in the team and helped them. And you can see on here, like many of us in the attic, they had all these wonderful Elvis Presley, Life magazines, beautiful magazines, New York Post, Saturday Evening Post. And like many of us, we hold on to things thinking that maybe they're valuable, we could get money for them later on, whether it be furniture or old magazines with Elvis on them. In the end, who were they valuable to? The mice that were living in there. We found mouse droppings all over the floor. So certainly sanitary purposes, we had to throw all that out. So like many of us, we're holding on to things, but for what really, they're not worth anything. We can't pass it on to anyone, we can't sell it. So who can tell us why? There's many reasons why. Who has any ideas? Why is it hard for us to let go of our things? Many reasons. Question. Sentimental value. Why do I have my father's report cards from Sanford High School? It's sentimental value. They mean something to me. Also, many other reasons are lack of time. I work or I volunteer, take care of my grandchildren. I don't have the time to sort through my things. Aversion to waste. I don't want to throw out things like 65 pounds of clothing because that's wasteful. Mother Earth. We don't want to fill up the landfill. Also financial. I paid good money for this shirt, and I don't want to bring it to the local thrift shop because I paid good money for it. So there's many reasons, as we know, why is it hard for us to let go? So I have to think about that. So in terms of our solutions, the step one, and I'm gonna say, Stephanie, what are you showing me? Because this looks a little scary. So this was a kitchen we did in Armonk, New York for a wonderful young family. And you could see, we took everything out. It's the first step. Whether you're working in your kitchen, your basement, in your attic, your coat closet, in your foyer. Step one, you wanna pull everything out. Now you're gonna say, Stephanie, again, what are you doing? I can't have dinner here tonight. If after the lecture, if I go home and I make a mess like this in my kitchen, how are we gonna have dinner tonight? So I like to say, really pace yourself and start small. So if you're gonna tackle your kitchen, maybe just take out 2 cabinets. Work on your glasses and maybe your coffee mugs. So pull, step one, you wanna pull everything out. So pull it, so if you're gonna work in your kitchen, pull out all your glasses, your coffee mugs, your drinks, your bottles, your jugs, put it on your kitchen table or on your kitchen counter. Step one, pull it all out. And then also a quick tip, when you're working, in your own home, a great little tool is, we all have Post-it notes, right? Post-it notes. So when you're working in your own home, when you pull everything out, a good way we kind of use to brainstorm are these Post-it notes. So after when we did the first step, pull it all out, we kind of brainstorm, I'm gonna put Pyrex here, baking goods are here, Tupperware is here, the dish towels are here. So it's a great way to kind of brainstorm, no matter what area you're working on your home, is just take a Post-it note and you can obviously move it around. No, I want that Pyrex is not gonna go here, I want the Pyrex to go over there. It's a very cheap way for you when you work in your own home to kind of brainstorm on where things will go. So step one, again, pull everything out. And then the second step is gonna be sorting. We call in the industry putting like with like. So here we have all the clothing from someone's closet. So here we have like tank tops, short sleeve shirts, and all by color. Pajamas, tennis clothing, exercise tops. You'll see we did light to dark, or white, then pink, and then black underneath it. So step two, so pull everything out, number one. Number two, sorting like with like. So we have all the t-shirts together, all our tennis shirts are up here, exercise clothing, pajamas up here. If you're doing your kitchen, put all the coffee mugs together, your tall juice glasses, your low juice glasses. Step 2 is sorting. And the third step, and this is the part we all have problems with, it's the editing. So we have 4 choices really. Are you gonna keep the shirt? Maybe we can sell it at a local consignment shop or something like that. Or can we just donate it to a local Goodwill or to a local shelter? Or really, is it just garbage? So this is really the hard part for all of us, the decision part. What are we gonna do with all of our items? It's step 3, the editing. And step 4, we don't like to push product too much because of course your product, I did bring our assortment of our favorite products. But of course, products of course cost money. But they also are very helpful sometimes, so it depends on your situation. The 4th step really is to strategize for products. Of course, we have our tape measure. If you're working in your kitchen pantry, maybe there's some clear bins you can use to put things in. That's the 4th step, strategizing for products you might use. And then here we are, we do have a kitchen pantry here, and you can see we're a little product crazy in here. Because we have all of our cereals up here. We have my favorite Oreos, popcorn, pretzels. But you see they're nice and neat with labels on there. So we implemented all of our products and we label them. It's really the 5th step. And again, you don't have to go, certainly in my home in Connecticut, our pantry does not look like this. I do have a few containers, but again, they cost money. And not everyone has to have everything, we call it decanted into these containers, but it does look nice if you like to do that.
I'm sorry, do you usually put something as far as when you should dispose of it?
Yeah, definitely, that's a great question, great. A lot of times you can put on there, I'll show you my best friend, the label maker, my brother Pete Touch. You can, that's a great tip. You can put on there expiring, if it's like a flower, or purchase June 15, 2026. June 15, 26. You can put that label right on the container if you want to decant things. Great suggestion, excellent. But the tips and tricks, what you want to do is to try to purge. Whether you're going to your coat closet in your foyer, do you have 4 rain jackets? Maybe you haven't worn one in a while, maybe we can donate that. Do you want to try to go through, again, whether it's your clothing, your closets, your coats, your kitchen, do you have 3 lemon presses in your kitchen utility drawer? Maybe you get rid of 2, you only need 1. So you want to try to purge when you can. Categorize, we kind of live and die by the rainbow. We love to do, who here knows Roy G. Biv? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. We love to do light to dark. Here we have a beautiful closet in Connecticut. And you can see, just again with matching hangers, looks nice. Categorizing, just light to dark. It's visually more appealing when you look in your closet and things are in order that way. So here, it's just very simple, and we have all the pants hanging the same way, just from white, the light blue jeans, to the gray to the black. So all sorted by the color. It just looks much nicer. Who here knows about file folding? Does anyone know about file folding? File folding is a quick tip. It's really easy to do. We love to use it. And it's kind of like you're going through your files like do. So where before, like in my husband, my poor husband, he gets the blame for everything. My husband he works from home, which is lucky, but he has about, 40 just t-shirts, short sleeve, and he has 2 piles. So there's 2 piles like this. So what does he wear? The top shirt every week. Stephanie washes it, I put it back, it goes right on top. He wears it again. So does this shirt ever get worn? No, it doesn't. But with file folding, it's great. So it's a really quick thing, it's so easy. So again, we go by the color. So I do light first, so I'm doing the white first, then the pink. I figured out in the cave I had to get our little preppy collared shirts, and then the blue. And no matter what you are working with, this is your drawer in your bureau. So you're pulling in and out. So now, where before you only saw the white shirt, now you can see every shirt you have in there, and you kind of go through the file. And you can use anything, your sweatshirts, your pants. It's just a quick way so you can see exactly what you have in your closets. So easy to do, and again, as opposed to doing like this, where you're only with that blue shirt on top, like my husband. So it's a really fun, easy way to organize your clothes. File folding, we love it. And let's see, hangers, yeah, the hangers, quick and easy. Again, I don't like to push product too much, but it's great if you have everything uniform. So we kind of love to use, anyone have these kind of hangers in homes?
Yes.
The slim velvet, again, BJ's Wholesale Club, your Costco around here, even Amazon, they're pennies on the dollar. But you would be surprised how much space you save in your closets because they're so thin. So it really allows you to put more clothes in your closet. When you have those thick plastic hangers, it does take a lot more space. We love to use these. And of course, the wooden ones are nice for like, blazers or coats like that. But again, just uniformity, it just looks so much nicer when everything is matching. And again, I don't want to force you all to go out. Stephanie told me to buy your hangers. You could just use what you have, but if they're all the same, it just looks a little bit better with the hangers. I love that. Dividers. Anyone here use dividers in their house? Another great way, and again, you could buy these at your local home goods stores, your big box stores, even Walmart. Of course, Amazon has these types of things, but a great way just to divide in your drawers. Keep your things nice and neat. And of course, these are all file folders. We have undergarments up top, pajama bottoms and pajama tops up here, all by color, light to dark. And just a nice way to keep things nice and tidy in your drawers. Again, with your pajamas, it would be the same thing. You're wearing the top set all the time, but now you can see exactly what you have. The dividers are very helpful with the file folder. Bins and baskets, we love to use bins and baskets, and we actually love this piece as well, which we'll talk about later. We guys have IKEA nearby. Is there a IKEA, the Swedish store? Must be somewhere nearby.
New Haven.
New Haven. Oh, is that far away? Really? Well, they even have this at a Target. You guys have Target nearby, yeah. Target, these cube units, they're so economical and they're great. And we have these lovely baskets. You can get these anywhere also. Of course, even Amazon, your big box stores, even Walmart has a nice selection. This is a great way to use this. We have sweaters in here. So again, we have light sweaters to dark, and down here are even darker sweaters. So you can see we have labels in the front, so you can see exactly what you have. It's very helpful. Shoes, and this is a fun one. We have some clients with like 200 pairs of shoes. Oh my goodness. Again, not to judge. But a quick tip for you all to use in your own home is you put the heel of the shoe to the toe of the other one. Like this. So as opposed to putting the both front of the shoes together, you'd be surprised, really saves on the space. So implement that trick in your own homes. It's really a nice space saver. Easy to do and no money. So here's the kitchen. And again, here we have a lot of product, but sometimes we have clients that want a lot of product, they want everything nice and neat. So here we have all the snacks down here in these bins and the XOX containers, which we love too. And here up top here, we just have some bamboo. A lot of us have our utensils already in our dividers in our drawers, but just a nice way to keep everything nice and neat in the kitchen. And some of our favorite products. So we love to talk about the hangers, of course, we already touched upon. And then the Montauk bin, again, it's another great bin. This is from the Container Store. But they have these everywhere, your Walmart. And these are nice too because they have liners. If they get dirty, you can clean, put them in the washing machine. They're really, really easy to keep clean. But we use bins like this everywhere for shirts. You can put your umbrellas in it. Last week, we were at a job in New Jersey and we had baseball caps for a young family in a mudroom. So they're very handy. And again, you can get this anywhere, very easy to purchase. Down here on the bottom, again, just more types of bins that you can buy anywhere. And then the one on top, here's my little drawer divider. This is a great tool. Does anyone have these drawer dividers? They're really great. I'm sorry, I forgot I was wearing the car, but this is nice. It kind of like compresses and you can put it in your drawer. Let's just see here. Let me just see this. If I had it with me, I could put it down the middle of this drawer. And you can make the two sides. You put pajama bottoms on one side and pajama tops on the other side. They're called drawer dividers. And they're very useful for kind of separating things within a drawer. So they're very helpful. Those are the Dream drawer dividers, and they're from the Container Store. But again, your Amazon has them as well. They also come in bamboo, different materials, and they're very helpful for separating things in your drawers. Some of our other favorite products we love, and I love this one. I'll show you an example where we use this later on. This is great. Does anyone have this shelf divider? This is a great tool. It slips right onto a shelf, and I'll show you an example later. So a lot of times we have people that have like sloppy sweaters and sweatshirts on top of their closets on a shelf, and sometimes sweaters are flopping over. It's an other pile next to it. It's a great way to kind of keep them all lined up like soldiers. I'll show you this later on, but it's a very useful tool. And then we have, this is very nice in the center. It's kind of like a stackable jewelry organizer. You can buy these for use in your own homes. And it's nice, you can put sunglasses on here, necklaces over here, earrings can go in the middle. Even your passport can be stored in here, in your dresser, very helpful. And this is a nice for shoe organizer. And they are stackable. So you put left shoe over here, right shoe over here, and you can stack them up high. It keeps everything nice and tidy. And on the bottom, we have these acrylic, really purse organizers, and they're wonderful. If you have pocketbooks that are kind of like fall over in your closet, they're great for keeping everything upright. You just slide the pocket right in here or in these little dividers, and it keeps everything nice and tidy in your closets. Some of our favorite products for the kitchen. How many of us have Lazy Susan? We love Lazy Susan. Great to have these. We also like them because you can put your oils and vinegars in there. It doesn't stain your shelf, or your countertop. Very helpful. And these are really nice too. This is for spices. A lot of times we don't have space in our upper cabinets for spices, so sometimes we will use a drawer for spices, and you can do this yourself. It comes like it's like a foam. It comes in a roll. It's like $10, and it's great. And all you do is cut it to fit your drawer, and then you lay down the spices right down the center. You just pull open the drawer, and all your spices can be in there. Well, we did that recently in Greenwich, Connecticut, and it came out very nicely. And this is nice too. Does anyone use shelf risers? Yeah, shelf risers are very, very helpful. So where before you have, you have 3 cans of my daughter's favorite double noodle soup, Campbell's. You have 1, 2, 3 all on the same level. We don't know. You can't see what's the third one in the back. Is that double noodle or is that Campbell's tomato soup? Well, now if you have this, it gets very inexpensive. These are also expandable. They can go wider to adjust to your cabinet. This is great. Now I have my double noodle here, and boom, on top I do have a tomato soup up there. So you can kind of see exactly what you have because one is higher than the other. This is another riser that we use, which is very helpful. It's a metal riser. Again, this is very inexpensive, maybe $10. And we love to use this, say again, back to your kitchen or you have a bathroom, a vanity under your sink. Say a lot of times under the sink, we have a very big open space. And you can put one of these risers, and now you have a shelf under your sink where you had none before. Very, very helpful. Of course, most of us have these XOS containers, which we love. And again, people say, Stephanie, do I have to put everything in these? We don't, because again, it costs money to buy these products. People love to put their flour, their sugar in there. Great question. You can put the expiration date on here, or purchase date, June 15th, 26. You can put cereals in here. Very helpful. We love to use those. And then, of course, we have the plastic bin, which you saw a lot of these in other pictures. Here I have one with a label snacks on there. They're again Walmart has these, your Home Depot has these, Home Goods, just very helpful for all kinds of situations for storing things. And then, of course, most of us have our flatware in these drawer divider organizers, which are great and very useful. And then, how many of us have the Metro shelves? Most of us have shelves of some sort in our basements and garages. We typically buy ours from Home Depot, about 48 inches wide, 4 feet, and they're great. You could use them in attics, basements, garages, very helpful. Does anyone know, have you seen the liners? They make these shelf liners for the Metro shelves. Have you seen them? And they're so helpful because where before, if you have extension cords, it all drops through, through all the metal brackets, it all falls through. But when you have these nice liners, and they're pretty much universal, 36 inches wide, 48 inches wide, it really changes up the game how you can store things on these. And of course, most of us have bins of some sort for storing things. These are great. These are called weather tight bins, and they're very helpful because you can kind of see they have a foam piece around the lid, and that really kind of seals out the humidity and dampness. So if you're storing your parents' beautiful family photos from 100 years ago, they're safe in here. Your children or grandchildren's artwork, nothing, the humidity won't get in there. Weather tight bins, very, very helpful right here. We love those. Some of our other hair products, of course, most of us have some kind of these small bins in our homes. They're great. That pack I think I got from Amazon. There's like a 20 pack of bins, all different kind of sizes, and these are great. It's like I think $15, and we love to use these. We just mix and match. You can put them this way, that way, like a little Tetris game. Great again if you're junk drawers, with the sunglasses in one, the mouse trap can go over here, no, put the mouse trap in there. Your batteries or flashlight can go in here, again, very, very inexpensive, which is very helpful. We'll use these in bathrooms for your makeup, you put your lip glosses here, your nail polish in there, so you can use them in any room, very, very helpful and very economical. Not a lot of money, which is good. Very frugal. We have the bids up here. Here's my favorite thing again. This was from, I take Target or Target. It's a nice 4-cube unit, very useful. We use this in closets. We've also used it recently for a little boy's bedroom as an end table. So it was really nice. We put his books for him and his brother. We put books in this cube and books in this one. And we got these little baskets, I think from Costco, very cheap, usually it's wholesale. And we put a basket here, a basket there for some of his toys. So you could use it anywhere, you could use it in a mudroom, you got some bins, you can put your umbrellas in there, your baseball hats, or hopefully no more winter hats, we passed that stage. But they're very useful, this is like a $50 item, they're very, very inexpensive, and you can use it anywhere. And we love this one, anyone here have a shoe problem? We have a lot of clients with a lot of shoes. This is a great, helpful tool, product, it's a shoe organizer, and they're also stackable. So, where before you had 1, 2, 3 pairs of shoes, now you have 9 pairs of shoes in the same space, and they stack up higher. So I just recently bought about 6 of these for a client in Connecticut. They have 3 children, a lot of shoes, and it's really gonna be helpful because he's gonna stack them up in the living closet. So again, very economical. 3 shoes, now you have space for 9. Very, very helpful. Bamboo shoe organizers. And some other favorite products that we love to use. Of course, we're all familiar with contractor bags. Most of us have contractor bags, and when you're working in your own homes, of course, you can use what kind of garbage bags you already have. It has to be, rubber bags. But these are great, we all know contract bags, but they're helpful because they're a thicker mill. So if you're putting sharp objects in there, it won't puncture the bag, etc. And we kind of use it when we work in our field. We kind of use a code. So black will be true garbage. You're working in your garages, your basements. Anything that's true garbage goes in the black. And then if you have things that maybe you can donate, we also have the same bags come in clear. And again, I don't want to force you to buy anything new. Use what you have in your house. But this is great. Again, these are from Amazon, just clear bags. You can see they're thicker and they're very big. If you have a lot of clothes, maybe clothes you want to get rid of, you can stuff up in these bags. And this way in your house, you kind of had your code. Like honey, don't bring the clear to the dump. That's donations. Black is true garbage. But again, if you're just working your own homes, I don't want to force you to buy something new. Just take your hefty bags, is usually white, and you can put a D on the bag in a Sharpie. That's for donation. But just kind of a quick code that we kind of use when we're in the field that you all can use in your own homes. Very, very easy. And then a color tape is also very helpful, but we like to use in the field. And you can see it comes, this is just like painter's tape, and this is also from Amazon. And it's just a lot, very, very easy. If you're working in your own homes, let's say you're moving or something, all you have to do is just take a little piece of tape and let's just say you're gonna downsize and you have, say, adult children. And you see, what we wanna do is, okay, anything red, it's gonna go to my son Peter, anything orange, it's gonna go to my son John. So when you're working in your own home, very economical, and also you can use Post-it notes again, because most of us have Post-it notes, they're inexpensive. But when you're working in your own homes, you're kind of deciding the things you want to sell, or maybe things that are just gonna go to the dump, or to donations. Color tape is a great way to kind of code what you're doing with which item, that way everyone in the household kind of knows what's going where. So color tape is very helpful. So let's use that. And then, oh, my best friend, of course, the brother Pete. I love you. $42, a great tool for you to use in your own homes. This is just from Amazon, it's so easy. I put my husband's name, Dan, he's got a sticker on his forehead, just kidding, he doesn't, the dog may have one on his head. But you can see, it's just so easy to use, I just turn it on, and I have in here, let's just see, I'll put on here, let me see, I'll put, hats, HATS, print, comes right out, hats. And then, it has like, it's kind of like half in the back, so it's this, you just kind of peel off one side, and then the other, half, and here we have hats. So you can put that right on the bin, put your baseball hats in there, so easy to use, and it's really great Very, very helpful. Label, label, label. We love to keep things labeled. Okay, so here's some of our befores and afters. So here's that scary basement. I was like, oh boy, I almost said, I don't know if we can handle this one. But you can see in the end, we did end up buying 11 Metro shelves. Yeah, we bought 11 of these. They're about $100 each. And the after, we said, you know, is anyone familiar with the store Bloomingdale's or like, you know, like a Ireland's basement, Filing's basement? And then like, this is like a Bloomingdale's of New Canaan, Connecticut, because it's like you can go shopping in your own home. So you can see here, this is all the holidays, we have the 4th of July, and you kind of vaguely make out all the labels. So all the holidays together. So again, the first step was we took everything out. Step 2, we sorted it like with like, put all the Christmas together, put all the 4th of July together, all the Easter together. And then we put it back nice and neat in these bins with the labels. Christmas was down here. Here in this section of home goods, we have all of our small appliances. You can see the stacks of plates that they had. And here you can make out those liners, which you had. The liners, which are so helpful, where before, if we didn't have that liner on that shelf, we certainly couldn't put Waterford glasses on the shelf. But now that we have that nice liner, which is so cheap, we can safely put nicer things on the shelves. So in the end, the family was very, very happy. They go shopping now in their own basement and honey, go get me some platters. You know where they are. There's no excuse now. No excuse. That was a good one. Then for the mudroom we did, it was kind of a combination of a mudroom, but also the food pantry for extra things in the home, in Connecticut. And you can see the before was up top, not too bad, not too bad. Just, you know, the parents' clothes, coats rather, and the children's coats were down here. And then here on the right side was just a lot of backstock cleaning supplies. They go to Costco a lot with the family before. And this didn't take us that much time, honestly, and we didn't buy any product. We took everything out, we sorted it first. And here you can see the after, we have the coats, it goes from lightweight to heavyweight, the puffer jackets are over here. The children's coats nice and neat, shoes nice and neat. And then here's the right side in the after. And again, we didn't use any product at all. We just sorted it all, took all the cleaning supplies together, all of our Windex, everything's lined up like soldiers. All the Windex bottles, all of our cereals are down here, some Ziplocs, cleaning stuff, Lysol up there. You can see this looks rather nice. Took us about 2 hours, so not too bad, not too bad. This is that scary kitchen we saw before, and I'm like, Stephanie, how are we having dinner here tonight? Well, a team of us worked at it. So again, like I said, we brainstormed with our Post-it notes, what's going where, that was very helpful. And we were fortunate, they did have a lot of space in this kitchen, it was a large kitchen. So here we have some pantry items up top, snacks for the children were down below. Here, of course, we have all the glassware, their most commonly used appliances, coffee maker, KitchenAid, toaster. And up here we have everything sorted, all the cookbooks are together, small appliances are down here, all the baking within the section right here. So you can see, but sometimes we have these tiny kitchens, we're like, oh boy, we have 3 upper cabinets. You know, then you have to make your decisions. Maybe some things will go into bins, they have to go to the basement because we can't fit it all. But here we were fortunate because there was a large kitchen. This is a nice planner we did. Again, not too bad, didn't take us that long. A little bit messy down here. And we bought 2 of these from IKEA. Like I said, they have them at Target too. They're very inexpensive, I think $70 each. And they're so useful. We got a couple bins. We have 2 side by side, A cubes. And you can see we have the bigger toys up top and some of the smaller toys are in these bins. I've got these cute little bookshelves also from Target. I think they're 4 trucks. Next to all the books over here, and they were very pleased with how that came out. And this is a primary closet we did for our gentleman, and I can show you now that little shelf divider I touched upon before. So we have this shelf divider that I said is so useful, where you can see before, see how the squares are all flipping over on here on the left side. See. So a lot of people have that problem. We have sweatshirts that are kind of spilling over to the other ones. So these shelf dividers are so helpful, keeping everything nice and neat. But this was, again, didn't take too much time. We just kind of made the matching hangers. This was the before, so we can see his work shirts kind of mixed in with the casual shirts. We kind of did all the work shirts first, the light to dark. We put everything on the matching hanger. Again, it's a little small detail, but you can see it looks a little bit nicer, just have the same color hangers. It was work pants and of course casual pants, the jeans over here. They were very happy with that finished result there. And then this was the wife's portion of the same closet. So here you can see, she was actually an influencer, but she had quite a lot of sun. Before and after, so it's an upper rod and a lower, but here, who can see what's down below because she has dresses hanging over it. So what was our first step? We pulled everything out. So she had a nice king size bed, so we laid everything like sorting like with like. The short sleeve dresses, the long sleeve dresses, short sleeve blouses, long sleeve blouses, everything was sorted on her bed. So what we did, sorting, and we put it all back together. And you can see up top here, we have the shoes, the heel to the toe, like that really made everything fit nicer. And up here, now you can see what you have. We have all the blouses first, light to dark, short sleeve to long sleeve. And down here, if she, not to judge, but I think she had about 50 pairs of jeans, a lot of jeans. But you can see just the matching hangers, looks nice, just the white jeans all the way to the black. Came out very nice in the end, and she can actually see what the clothes were. And then you may say, Stephanie, where are her dresses? So here, again, she had fortunate, they had a large closet. So here's all her beautiful sundresses. Again, we said light to dark, all the whites to the colors to the black. We showcase her pockets up here. And before I touched upon those acrylic purse organizers, they came in very handy for her because you can see they're all standing up nice and neat. And we put a nice pocket on top of it to kind of show it off. And that was a nice after picture for all the dresses. Okay, and then to wrap it up, some of our funny stories, like I said, we have seen it all. We've seen a lot and we love to do it. It's always an adventure for us. We were working at a beautiful home in Saddle River, New Jersey. And the client were away in Martha's Vineyard for the entire summer. So it was actually about this time, it was June 15th, a couple years ago. And family of 4, husband and wife, and 2 little girls. And they were like, okay, Stephanie, can your team unpack the whole house? We're gonna be on the ferry, we're going to Martha's Vineyard, and we wanna come back in the end of summer, everything's put away. So we do that. So we're unpacking all their clothes. Like I said, first step, we sorted everything out. We pull out all of our bathing suits, all of our bikinis, and we're like, wow, this is a lot of bikinis. How many are there? 81.
Yeah.
81 bikinis. And as I just said, they're in Martha's Vineyard for the summer. So like, if there's 81 bikinis here, how many do you have that much plus more in Martha's Vineyard, which is, as we know, a beach community. We were laughing and laughing. So you can see at the end, we did all by the rainbow light, all the way to the dark. Kind of did a little bit of file fold, tops and the bottoms together. That was a funny story. So they really came back in at the end of summer, pranced into the home, everything was put away to perfection. They were very happy. That was a really funny story. The high one, another good one. And we're familiar with the Dakota in New York City. The Dakota is where John Lennon was shot in the front of the building. So we had a job there a couple years ago, and here's me in the basement, and we had to go through the service entrance because we're workers, we're not there for a social call. So I had to go through, I had to show my license, get a badge printed out as an ID. So you can see here I am, here's all the construction workers with their paint and carrying everything in. So that was so much fun. And again, one of these stories where the mother and father had passed, the adult children lived in Pennsylvania and New York far away. And they worked, they had their own children, they just couldn't help clean up mom and dad's apartment, this beautiful building, because they're too busy. So we come in and we're going through the whole apartment, getting it ready, kind of to stage it, to sell the apartment, very valuable apartment. And we're going through all the clothing, we're taking our big contractor bags, filling with so many sweaters, all the kitchen utensils, all is gonna be donated, to cleaning the furniture to make the property show nicely to sell it. So we come to the high boy, which is like a very high dresser, a tall dresser, wooden dresser. And we're going through, collecting all the socks and the undergarments, again, donating all that. And what do we come upon? A stash of jewelry, money, foreign exchange, all of these things that the children had just overlooked. They just didn't go to look in the sock drawer, in the pajama drawer. So I said, I called the daughter immediately, like, Kathy, I have all of your mom's jewelry. Oh my, foreign exchange, lira, pesetas, all this foreign exchange, all this money, unbelievable. We put aside, it was a huge box of all these things, diamonds, gold bangle bracelets, we put it all aside, so that was an unbelievable story, so make sure you don't hide any jewelry, and in fact, that's a true story with me. What was I doing? I was looking, I have a gold bangle from my grandmother, and we do have a small safe built in our house and in a wall. And for some reason, after how many years, I still can't open the safe, so I'm like, I always ask my husband, Dan, can you please open the safe? I can't get to it. So in the meantime, I had to hide a piece of that bangle somewhere in the house. So I hid it in one of our son who's living in Texas now, in his drawer in his bedroom. And then, of course, I'm like, Sam, I'm like, where did I put the bangle? It took me like a month to remember where I put it. Oh my gosh, so try to remember, write down maybe where you hide things if you hide them. Is this when this could happen to you? The jewelry, oh, it is the best one, the Radman, oh my goodness. So we were working in New York City on another beautiful apartment for a young family, and we're helping them move. So I've got a family of 4, mother and father, they're moving from uptown to midtown to get to the husband's job, a little bit closer. So we were there all week, started on a Monday, kind of working alongside the movers to get everything ready to go to the new home, pack it all up. And on day 4, on Thursday, the wife's getting all these delivery boxes from Amazon. Me and mom were like, why are we getting more boxes? We're moving tomorrow. It's the last thing we need is, please don't order this week because we don't need any more boxes. Well, one of the boxes was a rat manor from Amazon. We're like, what's going on? So we see the wife in the kitchen building the rat manor. And now I see her in the kitchen chopping up strawberries and blueberries. I go in the kitchen. I'm like, Susie, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, Stephanie, we have like mice as pets in the apartment. I want to capture them in this house and bring them to the new apartment. Oh my God, we're like, we've seen it all, we've seen it all. We're like, what? So she's actually chopping up strawberries to try and put it in a little bowl, to put in a little home she just built, like a gerbil house, to try. Long story short, she didn't capture them, thankfully. So the beautiful new apartment did not have little mice running around there. I guess the husband was happy. Oh my God, it was an unbelievable story. You're like I said, we've seen a lot, we've seen a lot. It's always something, right? I have to talk about books, I have to write a book about this. It's so funny, so funny. So to wrap it up, some tips for some long-term success. Really think before you buy it. Do you really need it? And we like to practice the policy of 1 in, 1 out. So if I buy one shirt, maybe I can get rid of one shirt, you know? And then I like to say, like I said before, when you're working in your own homes, try to pace yourselves. Start small, maybe tackle your foyer closet, work on your coats. You have 3 rain jackets, let's get rid of 2. Start small. Small wins really compound into big victories, and you'll feel good, you'll have the confidence to move forward. And I love this one. A lifetime of judicious editing is a gift you give not only yourself, but your family, because our kids don't want to be dealing with all of our stuff. We all know that, we're smart people, we know that. So how will being organized help you? Of course, with time. Where are the keys? If you always put them in the junk drawer in that little clear bin, everyone knows where's the keys to the Honda, they're in the junk drawer in the first bin on the right. It will save with money. You won't go buying more paper towels because they're all in one spot. Honey, don't buy more paper towels, we already have 10 here. It helps with your sanity. And of course has a calming effect as well. And here's some of our top 10 organizing tips. Like I said, pace yourself, categorize by type and color. Your short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, all by color. Declutter and edit as you can. Things you're not using, try to donate them. Of course, as people who are in need, we all know that can use those items. You don't like to push the products, but if they can help you at all, some of these bins are helpful. We try to utilize those. And one thing that as soon as we forget, it's really important to gather your important documents. Your life insurance, your wills, of course, any legal documents, mortgage papers. Try to gather those into one spot. So you have those social security cards, those kind of things, birth certificates, marriage certificates. Try to keep all that together. Use simple systems, and we really respect. We'll have our sentimental items, our keepsakes. It's important to respect those items, of course. And of course, in our world today, we all have our iPhones and our computers. A simple thing to do, really, is to take photos to preserve memories. So if you have your grandchildren's artwork or your parents' highboy, from 50 years ago, maybe you don't need it, just take a picture of it. Store it on your computer or your phone. You can look at it whenever you want to, but now you don't have the physical object or the piles of artwork from your children or grandchildren. Just take photos of it. Simple way to store things. And then wrap it up, this is my son Nicholas, our son Nicholas. So Nicholas graduated from Indiana University, we're so happy last year. Yeah, he does. One more off the payroll, so he moved to Dallas, Texas, we're very happy, he got a good job in finance. And so it's me, an organizer, I have a whole spreadsheet as my husband and I did better and better, we got new dishes or new things for ourselves. We have 3 children, so I was saving things in our attic for the children. Hopefully they'll get their own apartments and fly, baby birds fly. So here I'm texting Nicholas right before his graduation. Oh, Nicholas, here's all the things that I have for you when you move to your new apartment. And here's the response. Holy crap. Pardon the French. I'm not taking pies every day, Mom. I don't think I need that. Do you mean a 22-year-old is not gonna bake pies every day? What do you mean? So I guess Nicholas did not want my set of 8 floral dinner. He didn't know what a Lakewood set was. Now he does, So we were allowed to go laughing about that little text. And little Nicholas, he's a little rascal. That's it, everyone. Thank you so much. Please follow us on Instagram if you have any questions. Anyone have any questions or any comments? Anyone have any tips that they want to share in their own homework? Yes.
Do you have any handouts of your lists?
I don't, but I can email it to Amy, so she can send it to you all, or I can, yeah, perfect. Any question?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, this is like my ongoing kind of anxiety.
It's a struggle for all of us.
Yes, so, I mean, I grew up in Europe, we moved here 14 years ago with a gigantic container of stuff, okay?
Right.
And I thought that this was gonna be our kind of holiday spot, and we would end up moving to, somewhere else, and we never did end up moving to the Boston suburbs, so I kind of had double of everything, nightmare, right? But of course, some of it was all nice enough stuff. I
Yes.
chuck it. So I have a lot of stuff in my basement still, 14 years later, including really nice antique mahogany furniture, which is still in the boxes that the moving people put it in. So, it's very sentimental to me because that reminds me of my
Family.
my childhood, my parents' home, all of these things. So I'm kind of trying to build up to kind of getting rid of that furniture because I don't want to just throw it away.
Exactly.
Because it was valuable at one point. So antiques is like one of those things where I have a real problem getting rid of it. So
It's
beautiful
important to
made.
you and their family heirlooms, so they're passed down for generations.
Yeah, and maybe they will if we move to a different home. That's
They'll work in another home,
maybe
yeah.
so I mean, I just don't know whether it's worth holding on to those things that are. I mean, it's an ongoing issue.
Exactly.
And then, well, that's kind of a personal issue I have, but then I also have, I have a husband and 2 kids, and they'll be the first ones to point out the clutter and the mess, but they contribute to it.
Right, yeah,
But so, it's
They're
my
not being helpful.
responsibility,
Right.
so I'll kind of tackle the pantry, but then you rely on other people. I mean, it's beautiful when it's done,
Right,
and it's really
but
satisfying. but
everyone's
then
not on board.
You need everyone to kind of help keep it looking that way.
Exactly.
Sure.
The thing is, when you create your systems in your own homes, all the family
Right.
members, everyone in the household has to,
participate.
whether it's the family or even sometimes the cleaning people, sometimes we work and the people have cleaning people, and they don't put the towels away in the right spot, we're like, oh my gosh, we
Right.
set these systems. Let's please try to follow that,
Right.
it's kind of
So-
frustrating, you just put the time in.
Although I will say my older daughter, who's 20 now, she was home for January, she was going to do her semester abroad, and she decided to tackle the linen closet. And I love this because it was very manageable. Like I like the small projects, like you say, it kind of gives you a sense of,
And you feel confident.
and then you feel motivated to do more.
You do more, you do more.
She tidied the linen closet in January, towel, and it's still, she came home in May and she's so happy that it still looks good. It's one of the few
Like, is it in
things
the
that
the
stay,
system's still in
yeah, it's
place?
still in place,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I know, it's
how do you
frustrating.
motivate the whole family?
That's the
to kind
thing,
of
like you have to incentivize them, please, I'll give you
Right.
$1 if you keep up with the system, because otherwise all your work is in vain,
Right.
it's frustrating, I'm totally.
So, but I do think that, like I said, like you've tackled one area, I think that everyone's, I tackle like under the kitchen sink.
Right.
Last week, and two people in my family have complimented, they're like, well, and that actually motivated my husband to replace the waste disposal.
Excellent,
So it
had a
definitely.
positive effect, I
had a
hope.
positive effect. So I think like little steps, like you
Yes,
said, like
baby
tackle a
steps.
small area
Yes,
at a time.
because really, like you guys said, if you leave here today, Saturday, and you say, oh my gosh, I saw that, what Stephanie did, that basement, so the after picture is like, wow, I'm gonna start that tomorrow. I'll start that tomorrow morning, Sunday, let's go, 10 o'clock, we're gonna go to 6 o'clock, get your husband or wife on board. After an hour, you're like, this is overwhelming, I can't do it, let's wrap it up, So it's like, it starts small, bless you. You should take and say, be reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do 2 hours, maybe every other week, maybe the first and third Saturdays of the month, if you work. And so I'm just gonna do 2 hours, 3 to 5 or 9 to 11 in the morning, And you'll feel so good about it, really, you really feel good about it, and give you the confidence, yeah, to go forward.
Do you help your clients decide where to donate the items?
Yes, we do that, yes, we love to donate if people have a personal preference, like if they're a breast cancer survivor. We'll certainly give things to the Breast Cancer Alliance, so maybe it's local Goodwill is also a great place, even hospital thrift shops, we love to donate. We'll, of course, we love to donate wherever we can, because we like to try to be green, give back to the community for sure.